Yo guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. So I've just come on here today to make an update video following on from the video that I made where I shared my passing of the $10,000 My Forex Funds account. So it's been around 6 weeks now since I acquired my funded account, and I just wanted to come on here and make an update for you guys, sharing with you my results and how I'm getting on with my Forex Funds account. So after having the 10k account for 6 weeks, I'd love to come on here and tell you guys that I've made a big profit on the account. However, that's not the truth. And on this channel, I'm always going to be authentic and open about how my journey is going and what's happening with my trading. So, what's basically happened on the account is I've been trading, I'd say, most days, and I've stuck mainly to my trading plan. But in the end, I'm in a drawdown of about 8.5% at the time of recording this. So, that's around $850. And I'll show you guys my actual Forex Funds dashboard on the screen soon, so you guys can see the exact figure at the time that I've recorded this video. So what's happened in the last 6 weeks? Well, pretty much there's a few things that's happened which has actually led to this point. So I think, going from just passing it so quickly, because, well, I passed the challenge itself in about 3 weeks, but then I passed the verification in just a few days. So after that, I was feeling super confident in my trading plan and in the opportunities that I was identifying. So my original plan was to basically risk $30 when I started on the Forex Funds account. Then if I drew down $200, I go down to $20, and if I drew down $600, then I'd start going down to $10 risk per trade. So before I talk about how I actually got to this position where I'm in 8.5% of drawdown and what I'm going to do about it, I will just show you guys the My Forex Funds dashboard, and I'll show you what my trading days have looked like, and then we can talk about how it happened and what I'm going to do moving forward to get out of this drawdown and to continue having success in my trading journey.
Alright guys, so I'm over at my screen now and I'm just going to take you through my Forex Fund dashboard. So like you guys can see, I'm recording this about a week and a half after I recorded the other part of the video, just due to some personal commitments that have come up in the last week and a half. But as you can see, I'm actually down 8.3% now, not 8.5%. Still $830 down more, so it's not going great. But I will just take you briefly through the trading days and the trading history. So the trading days, you can see at the start, I was risking $30 a trade. So, I started out taking a couple of trades, took some pretty reasonable losses. And then here, I just ended up taking too many trades. I think what happened with that is originally I was risking 30, but then I've moved the risk down and I basically used some line of faulty logic to justify overtrading. And you can see this period here, I really did just overtrade quite a bit, basically due to the fact that I was moving my risk down. So I'd gone from, I think, $30 up here to eventually risking $10 here. So I was just justifying to myself basically overtrading, which obviously I shouldn't do. But anyway, that's what happened in these initial days of the actual account. Since then, I did manage to bring it back into line a bit. There were a few days you can see I did 3 trades, 4 trades, but a lot of days I was also doing just 2 trades. And then more recently, I really stepped back and I've just been doing 0, 0, 1 trade, 1 trade, 2 trades, 2 trades, 0 trades, 2 trades. That day there, I did do 3 trades, so that's one of that day's overtraded as well. But you can see that from compared with the overtrading that went on back up here, these trades here, it's nowhere near as bad. And then more recently, I haven't been overtrading hardly at all. Here it says that I've overtraded, but it's only $10.80 risk, so I'm not sure what's happened there because I'm pretty sure that I didn't overtrade on that day. Uh, and then here again it says 3 trades, but I was only down by $6, so I'm not sure exactly what's happened there. But if you guys want to pause and look through, you can see that's a breakdown of exactly how each day led up to this minus $830. So I will just quickly jump on my trading history as well. So I'm not going to go through every trade, guys, because honestly, most of them are just variations on the theme that I'm discussing in the video where I passed it. So I don't really see much value in going through every trade because it's just going to take so long. The video's going to get too long then. But you guys can pause if you want to see exactly what trades I've been taking and what days and what times. But yeah, so this is my trading dashboard. So I'm going to take you guys back over to my face now, and I'm going to talk about this whole experience and how I ended up in this position.
Alright guys, so you see my results now, and if you've seen my creating a trading plan video, then you will have seen my trading plan, which clearly states that I should only take up to 2 positions per day. So as you can probably see from my trading dashboard, there were some days where I did take more than 2 positions, and there were also days where I lost way more than I should have done in terms of how many positions I took and how much I should have risked. So I just want to dig in a bit deeper into how this situation actually came about in terms of the trades that I took and what I should and shouldn't have done. Now, as you guys can see, I took a lot of losses and I've not taken too many wins. So I want to dig into why that actually is from the technical perspective and what my current situation is and my thoughts on it with why I had so many losses on this account so far. So the first thing is when I passed the account, I basically had started using this scalping strategy, and in December, when I passed the account at the start of January, I had some really good success with this scalping strategy. I wasn't winning every trade, but I was winning enough to keep me well in profit, and that's how I managed to pass both the challenge and verification in the first place. Now, what that led me into, essentially, is a sense of overconfidence in that strategy. Because the strategy is absolutely solid, and the mentors in Vertex trade the strategy and they get insane returns with it. So there's nothing wrong with the strategy itself, but in terms of how I was applying it, I'd gained quite a bit of confidence from the fact that I passed the account applying this strategy. So that essentially led me to think like, oh yeah, just keep doing this, keep executing the same strategy, and it's going to just keep working. Now, I think what that's led to is each day I'm basically coming to the market and I'm thinking, oh, does this trade fit my plan? And I'm trying to find trades that just fit my plan, and then I'll take the trade because it fits my plan. But the thing about it is that a lot of times with the specific plan that I showed in my creating a trading plan video, you'll get a trade which does actually fit the trading plan from a technical perspective, but the actual probability of the trade could still be very low. So, the setup is a great setup when all the confluences are there, when the higher time frame lines up with it, and when it makes sense in terms of what's actually happening in that session. But on other occasions, you can get the setup and it'll happen, but the actual probability of the setup is very low because, there's multiple confluences against the setup. Maybe there's order blocks in the other direction, or the higher time frame trend is going against the setup. And from my experience, what I've realised is that there's a lot of times where the setup does appear from a technical perspective, but it's a very low probability setup due to lack of confluence. So continuing about the technical setup, I think going forward, there's a few things that I'm going to be doing to try and improve my win rate and minimise the losses that I'm taking on the account. So just in terms of the actual setup itself, what I'm going to be doing going forward from now on is using the higher time frames a lot more. Now, the thing with doing the scalp setup that I've been using, you can literally just do it using the lower time frames, the minute time frames. But for me, I think it will help if I have that higher time frame understanding, because at the end of the day, what's happening on the 1 hour, what's happening on the 4 hour, that's going to massively influence the outcome of these lower time frames. So going forward, I'm going to use the higher time frame to filter out trades that are lower probability. What I'm also going to do is look for significant confluences that are happening around the trade. And recently I have been doing this. I've been trying to focus more on the quality over the quantity. So instead of just coming into the market thinking, all right, today I'm going to look for 2 trades which fit my plan and I'm going to execute those trades, I'm not going to think like that anymore, because for me that leads to me just looking for the first 2 opportunities that fit my plan, and then I'll take them regardless if they're the best setups. Now what I'm going to be doing is coming into the market each day and just not even thinking, I'm going to take 2 trades today, I'm going to take a trade today. I'm going to see what's on the chart, and I'm going to see So I'm going to see what's on the chart, and I'm going to see what the different pairs are giving me. And if there's something that's super clear, that fits my trading plan, that fits the higher time frame, that's got high confidence, then that's the type of setup that I'm going to look to take. Because, you know, I think what a massive thing for me is that if I'm taking just 2 trades a day that fit my trading plan, I end up in so many low probability trades, and then they just get stopped out, and then that again knocks my confidence when, you know, in reality, all I need is 1 or 2 good trades in a week, and even a few good trades a month. So from now on, I'm going to be a lot more selective in my trade selection, and I'm going to try and get only those higher probability setups which fit the higher time frame and which have multiple confidences on the lower time frames. Alright guys, so now I've spoke about the technical part, I'd probably say that about 5% of a drawdown, so about $500 worth of a drawdown, is simply just from taking trades which didn't work out. So the trade did fit my setup and it did fit my plan, but it just didn't work out because I've essentially selected a low probability position. Now, the other roughly 3.5% I think can really be accounted for from psychological mistakes that I made during trading this account. So that other 3.5% is essentially come from 2 key risk management mistakes which I've made on this account, and that is overtrading and over risking. So I will just dig deeper into each one of them now. Alright, so from a risk management perspective, the first, and I think in this context for me personally, the more serious issue which I faced while trading this account is the overtrading. So let's just start with how many trades I'm meant to take on the account. So as you've probably seen in my trading plan video, I'm meant to take 2 trades a day max. And what happened, as you've seen in my dashboard, is that some days on this account I've taken 3 trades, I've taken 4 trades, and on a few days I've even taken more than 4 trades. Now, you might think, why is this happening? Because, you know, I literally say in my creating a trading plan video to stick to your plan always and to not overtrade. And I truly believe that that's what you should do. But at the end of the day, and I'm sure as many of you guys have probably experienced yourselves if you're in the markets, sometimes your psychology gets thrown a curveball that you're not really ready for, and you end up reacting in a way which isn't completely logical. So why have I actually overtraded on some days on this account? Well, what I think's happened on most of the days is this. So I've essentially taken the first trade, which I plan to take. I've taken the second trade, which I plan to take. But then instead of just stopping there and thinking to myself, oh, you've taken your 2 trades for the day, just move on with your day, wait till tomorrow, I've gone down this line of logic of like, well, you're still emotionally capable of handling another loss, and you're still got the decision-making capabilities available to stick to your trading plan. Well, from the technical setup perspective. So what I've done is I've essentially just taken the 3rd trade, taken the 4th trade, following that line of logic, thinking, oh, well, I can still stick to my trading plan from a technical perspective, and I can still execute my setup. So if the setup's there, I'll take the trade. So obviously, this is a faulty line of logic and doesn't really make much sense when you actually look at it from the outside perspective. So at the time, you know, it seemed like a good idea, like, oh, I'll take the 3rd trade, I'll take the 4th trade. But in reality, that's coming from a place of just wanting to make a profit, rushing the process, you know, being desperate to basically make a profit on the account. And that's what really drove that 3rd and 4th trades on those days. Now, of course, after the fact, and once I'd already taken the 3rd trade, the 4th trade, I've then gone away from the computer screen and I'm beating myself up about it, thinking, oh, well, you know, why have you done that? You know the risk management said to take 2 trades only, and then you've taken the 3rd and 4th trade, so why would you do that? But, you know, this is part of the trading journey, and it's a point of growth for me that I'm dealing with my trading psychology and trying to grow as a trader and move past any issues to do with overtrading. So, having experienced some of these overtrading issues in this last month or so, I've essentially acknowledged a lot more about the actual risk management, about understanding that, you know, yes, maybe I can execute my trading plan for the rest of the day. You know, maybe I could take 7 trades in a day that fit my trading plan, but that's not the point of the risk management. The point of risk management is to take the set amount of trades that you've got in your trading plan as a maximum and then call it a day if you take that many trades or if you take as many losses as you've planned. And then you can come back at it fresh the day after with your account fully protected. So going forward, I'm hoping and I'm planning to only take that maximum of 2 trades a day. And I'm also planning, honestly, to take even less than that in general. I'm planning to limit my trades to a maximum of 6 per week, because I do think that being more patient and selective with each trade is what's going to really give me that trading edge and that trading longevity. And what I also think is that, if you only take, so if you take 2 trades a day max, but if you're only taking a few trades, like maybe 6 trades a week, 7 trades a week, then what's going to happen is that you're only going to be minus 6R for the week or minus 7R at the end of a week, and then that's not too bad, because you come in the week after, you've learned from them trades, you've grown as a trader from the previous week's experience, and you only need 1 or 2 good trades to put yourself back into profit, even if you took losses all week the previous week. Now, compare that with if you're deviating from this risk management and you start taking 3 trades a day, 4 trades a day, and all of a sudden you're down 15R, 20R in a bad week. So at that point, it's a lot harder to recover from that week after. And another thing that I've noticed is that if I do, 15 trades in a week, I'm a lot less likely to dig deep into each trade and to review each trade, because it's just a lot more work, and for me it's been demotivating in terms of doing the review process. So going forward, in terms of my overtrading, I'm really going to try not to engage in any overtrading and just to do the 2 trades a day maximum that I've planned, but really to do a lot less than that. And I'm only going to trade when there's a setup that I'm super happy with, that fits my trading plan completely. Alright, so the second issue that I had with risk management on this account, which I'll be honest about, is over-risking. So over-risking has a wide spectrum of how it can present itself. Now, I'm not being over-risking in terms of just doing no lot size calculations, not caring. Because in the past, like a year and a half ago, when I just started trading, I was completely unprepared for the markets psychologically. And I just make stupid decisions with what lot size I was using. I'd over leverage and I'd blow my personal accounts just over leveraging back then, like a year and a half ago. Now, this time, the way that this element of over risking has manifested itself is a lot more controlled and quite different. So, for a start, let's just say what I'm meant to be risking. So initially, I was meant to be risking $30 per trade, and then if I drew down 200, I'd move down to $20, and if I drew down 600, then I moved down to $10 risk per trade. Now, I'm not sure if it's shown in my dashboard, but quite a lot of times what I ended up doing is just risking between $5 and $10 more than I was meant to risk on the trades. And the reason for this, now partially, you could see it as a subconscious element of greed in terms of the lot size selection and trying to make the winners larger than they otherwise would be if I selected the correct lot size. But a lot of the time, the honest reason for my over risking is just the way that I've been executing the trades. So, and the size of the stop loss I use as well. So with this scalping strategy, a lot of the times I've been using like a 2 pip or a 3 pip stop loss, and occasionally I've even used a 1 pip stop loss. Now, as well as doing that, I've also then done market execution. So as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware, sometimes when you execute a market, you might end up getting filled at a price which is 1 or 2 pips or even half a pip lower than the price that you actually desired. So what's happened to me quite a bit, and I've noticed especially when I use a 2 pip stop loss, is I'll say, I'll execute wanting to use a 2 pip stop loss, but then my actual fill price will be a pip lower or higher than I've anticipated. And then to put my stop loss where I originally wanted it, that's now actually a 3 pip stop loss. But what I've got is the lot size for a 2 pip stop loss. So effectively what that's done is 1.5x my risk. Now, this has happened a lot of times, and it's variation on a theme which I've noticed within my trading, is that if I do a market execution, I need to size down a bit to account for this situation which continually has been cropping up on this account. So, with regards to the over-risking, that is really the primary reason, is that I've basically taken market executions and then ended up with my fill price 1 or 2 pips different to the fill price I actually wanted. And then I've still put my stop loss in the same place, which is essentially extended the stop loss while keeping the lot size the same. Now, of course, this is a very bad thing to do, and it's not a good idea at all. But I do think that this is probably one of the things that's easier to rectify, because from my perspective, I've not just been over risking trying to make loads of profit. Instead, this is really an execution issue, and it's something where it's just a case of changing the lot size slightly. I'm not massively over leveraging the account, but I am just not being diligent enough with my actual lot size selection during my execution process. And in future, going forward, to correct this over risking issue, I need to just be more diligent with my lot size selection. And if I am going to take a market execution instead of a limit order, then I need to essentially double check what my actual fill price is going to be. And then if I am going to need a slightly bigger stop loss, an extra pip, then I'll have to bring the lot size down for that. So, there's no excuse for over risking, but in terms of the two issues I've described here, I do think that my overtrading is really been a bigger issue. And then with regard to the over risking, that's something where I need to improve my actual execution and improve, if I'm going to take a market order, I need to get better at selecting the correct lot size for where I want my stop loss to be and where my fill price is going to be. Or potentially just not taking market orders and only using limit orders, and then I've got a bigger control over my risk. So that's my over risking, guys. Subconsciously, it probably is caused partially by greed, wanting that bigger win. So then instead of being diligent at the last moment, I'm just basically letting it slip, and I'm like, oh well, I'll just take the lot size that I planned, even though in reality it is going to be an extra pip stop loss, which is obviously going to increase the risk. But it is something I'm aware of, and it's something that I've been working on to really eliminate. Now, at this point, since I've drawn down so much, I am just risking $5 per trade, and that's something that I've not really been struggling with. So going forward, I am being a lot more diligent with my lot size selection and a lot more careful that if I am going to take that market execution, that's not going to result in me then needing a stop loss larger than the lot size is planned for. So going forward, I will be planning not to over risk, and I will be a lot more diligent with how I actually execute my trades and select my lot size. Alright guys, so I hope you found some value in this. Like I say, I'd love to have shared, but I made a profit. But I did take a lot of trades which weren't amazing trades, and I also had some issues with my risk management approach. So going forward, there's a few key steps that I'm going to be making. So the first step I'm going to be making, which I've already started to do, is improving my trading psychology. So I've been reading the Mental Game of Trading book again, which is in my description, in my video descriptions on my YouTube channel. So what I'm going to be doing is executing the processes from the Mental Game of Trading book to map out my psychology and to get a deeper and better understanding into how my psychology actually manifests in real time when I'm doing my trading. So hopefully with that, I can reduce my psychology issues with trading, as well as my overtrading and over risking issues. With regard to the specific overtrading and over risking, with the overtrading, I am just going to be taking less trades, and I'm not going to be taking more than 2 trades a day. I've learned from this last month's experiences that when I take more than 2 trades a day, I get more stressed and more anxious about the whole situation, because I know that I've not followed my trading plan and not followed my risk management. So it's not even worth the stress that it causes to then take that 3rd trade in a day. And that's something that has been reinforced by these experiences in this last month, and I'm hoping that going forward I can just continue to stick with my plan of taking a maximum of 2 trades in a day. What I'm also going to be doing, like I said earlier, is really, not aiming to take 2 trades a day, but just aiming to take only really high quality setups, and not even being fussed about taking a trade. Like, when I come to the chart, I don't need to take a trade. I can sit out of the market for a few days in a row, even sit out of the market for a full week and not take a trade. What's important is just getting those super high quality trades that are actually going to be potentially winning trades, and they're the trades that are really going to, create a profit on the account. So finally, with regard to the over risking from a psychological point of view, I'm gonna essentially just be more diligent with my lot size selection when I'm taking market orders, and I am gonna try and use limit orders where possible to then prevent slippage and prevent this execution issue in the first place. Also, with over-risking and with overtrading, as I follow the processes from the Mental Game of Trading book to map out my trading psychology, hopefully both of those things I'll gain deeper understanding of, and I'll be able to eliminate them and reduce the risk of me going back into them in future. So finally guys, and to actually increase my trading results and the profitability of my trading, what I'm going to be doing is a lot more backtesting. Now backtesting, I've done a lot of it in the past, but I'd say the last couple of months it is something I've neglected quite a bit in favour of just doing live trading. But you know, backtesting, it's an essential part of the job as a trader, and I'm going to be making an effort to backtest a lot more frequently and to backtest those higher time frames even more, so that way I can then implement the higher time frames to filter what's going to happen in the market. So guys, going forward, what I'm also going to be doing is a lot more backtesting, which will essentially improve my understanding of how the market works and also build my confidence from my backtesting. Now, I have done a lot of backtesting in the past, but over the last couple of months it is something that I've neglected quite a bit in favour of live trading. And I do think for where I'm at in my trading journey, it is essential that I continue backtesting alongside my live trading. What I'm also going to be doing is doing a journal review of all the trades that I've taken to then get a deeper insight into the patterns that are occurring with my losses and the patterns that are occurring with my profitable trades, to then try and filter out better in future which trades are more likely to be losses and which trades are more likely to be winners. So hopefully by improving my trading psychology using the processes described in the book The Mental Game of Trading, and by further backtesting and journal analysis, I can improve my trading results and reduce these errors I've made with my risk management. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you've enjoyed what I've shared. As always, I will be authentic on this channel and I will share the reality of my trading journey. So you know, it's not been a great 6 weeks for me, but at the end of the day, it's just a blip on the road to trading success. Like, I'm still in a lot better position than I have been in the past, and I've got a lot deeper market knowledge than I've had in the past. So at this point now, it's just about finding the method of application that works for me and improving my trading psychology to get it to a point where I can consistently execute my plan to make a profit. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you got value from this video, and I hope you guys have a great trading week whenever you're watching this. If you did enjoy the video and if you do want to see more about my trading journey, then please do subscribe to the channel, because I really appreciate that and I do put time and effort into making these videos for you guys. So guys, also if you've got anything to say about this video, about my trading journey, or if you've got anything to say about my trading performance, then please just leave a comment below and I'd love to see what you guys think. Alright, so thanks guys, please subscribe and thank you very much for watching.